it doesn't matter what age person I am working with, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, when I start teaching them the basic foundational movement work, they'll get little clicks, little pops that are not painful and that are actually, in the most cases, there are a few exceptions, but rarely, when they're rocking their pelvis and doing these movements, they get these little clicks and pops. As we get older, and I'm in that age group, where if I've been out and around and busy and doing things, mowing, lifting, doing things like that, when I start to do some movements, particularly standing, I won't just get the clicks and pops, I'll get what I call the crunchies. And the crunchies, I've seen it people of all ages. Again, if it's not painful, it's not a bad thing to work through it. However, when you get the crunchies, that means you're kind of working through getting the joints lubricated and loosened up again. You go slower, smaller, you finesse rather than coerce. When I get those clicks and pops and those crunchies, I can work through them very quickly. Really important to understand this. This is really the key. There are two reasons you won't get crunchies or clicks and pops. Reason number one is that your back is fluid, lubricated, every joint is moving smoothly and fluidly and connectedly in a nice coordinated manner. The other way we won't get the crunchies and the clicks and pops is because the back is so locked down with core, quote, stabilization and rigidity that it just doesn't move. And when it doesn't move, it won't click and pop. But as we get older, when joints don't move, they age much faster. So they don't click and pop, you don't get the crunchies, you may not even be in pain, but you are screwing your spine up by not moving it. And ultimately, as we get older, many people, it leads into a slight bent forward, what I call a diaper walk, because they're walking with their back so rigid and so held and so disconnected and not even knowing it. I feel great. I can lift things, I can do everything I want, I can walk, but I can't move well. That leads to all kinds of problems, from prostate to guts to heart to brain, blood flow, and all of that sort of thing. You don't get that connection. The foundations class that we do, that's the first way to work with the crunchies. But then, to go deeper into it, we do what I call the progressive spinal release. And that's where we use the yoga roll and we work up our spine. And that's what we're going to do right now. You use whatever level of the roll you're comfortable with. You don't force, you don't push, you don't do anything that doesn't feel right. So I would really caution you to be very, very gentle. This is not stuff I start people with initially. So be very careful. All right, have your roll nearby and maybe not even use the roll. All right, so let's start onto our backs. Legs nice and long, and just take a moment to just release everything. And so just get a sense of your legs, your arms, the back of your head, your pelvis. And then let's bend our legs. Remember, the roll, when you put it under the tail, is on the floor pointing towards your heels so that it's easy to unroll. So we're going to place this in the center of our sacrum. And then once I kind of feel balanced in the sacrum, I walk my shoulder blades away to lengthen my back a little bit more. I'm going to take one hand on the lower belly with the little finger just kind of brushing up against the pubic bone, the other hand on the forehead, and very gently rocking the pelvis. All this work assumes that you have been with me a while or that you've done the foundations course itself. So now just feel the back of your skull and the back of your sacrum rocking on the floor in a connected, coordinated way. And so you just get this gentle rocking motion. Very light. This is nice for the pelvic floor and everything up from there all the way up into the crown. Nice blood flow. Light, easy, fluid movement. Feel the back of your head and your sacrum rocking. And now just let your knees drift about 3 inches to the left and hold there and continue this rocking motion. And when we come up to standing, I'm going to show you where I often feel the crunchies if I've been really physically active with weights or with standing poses and stuff. And it's a quick, easy way to release them. And when you release those crunchies, the joints start to open and lubricate again. The problem is only if they stay crunched and don't get released for long, long, long periods of time. And now take the knees to the right. And again, light, fluid, easy, wave-like movement. Let every joint in your spine have a voice. And if it's not speaking to you, don't try to make it speak. Just go gently and easily. Sometimes even just getting down quickly and going through this flow can be very nice to release. And you go as slow and as small as you need to, and then back to the center. And you may just even, barely move, so that I couldn't even tell if you were moving. Now we're going to take our hands onto our knees and let the knees, without pulling them, fall towards the body.